Hi everyone. So in this session, we are going to discuss about regular grammar. Till now we have discussed about finite automata, various types of finite automata, their conversions, their equivalence, and we have gone through regular language, regular set, regular expression, right? So now regular grammar. We already know. What do you mean by regular grammar? The grammar which is used to represent the regular language is nothing but a regular grammar, right? But how to define a regular grammar? How to write the regular grammar? Let's see. So regular grammar can be defined as 4 tuples. Regular grammar can be defined as 4 tuples. G equals to VTPS, where V is set of symbols called non-terminals, means which represent states. Whatever states we define in our finite automata, those are nothing but V, variables, set of symbols that are called non-terminals in our regular grammar. Next, coming to T. T is set of symbols called terminals. Terminals. In our finite automata, whatever alphabet we use, alphabet symbols we use, those are nothing but the terminals. Terminals in our regular grammar. Next, coming to P. P is nothing but set of production rules. Set of production rules. These production rules are formed by using the transitions. Transitions of the finite automata. Later we will get to know how to frame production rule for transitions. Okay. Next, so P is a set of production rules. Next, S. S is a start symbol. Start symbol which belongs to our V. V. Obviously, all states of finite automata are nothing but non-terminals, as I said now, right? So V. From that, we only will be using one as a start symbol. The initial state of finite automata is nothing but the start symbol of our regular grammar. Okay, is that clear about the regular grammar now? Now let's see how to construct a regular grammar for a given regular expression. Constructing a regular grammar for a regular expression. Let's see what are the steps which we need to follow. Coming to step 1, construct NFA epsilon. Construct non-deterministic finite automata with epsilon transitions for the given regular expression. You already know. For a regular expression, we can easily construct the NFA with epsilon, right? So first, for a regular expression, you have to construct the NFA with epsilon transitions. Next, step 2. In step 2, you have to eliminate the epsilon transitions and you have to convert this NFA with epsilon to DFA. We already know the conversion, how to convert NFA epsilon to DFA, right? So first, you have to construct NFA with epsilon transitions for the regular expression, and then you have to eliminate all those epsilon transitions and you have to convert that NFA with epsilon to DFA, deterministic finite automata. Okay. Now, step 3, from the obtained finite automata, all the corresponding states become our non-terminals, as I said just now when we are defining regular grammar, right? All states in a finite automata are nothing but the non-terminals, and all the alphabet symbols are nothing but the terminals, right? So the corresponding states of DFA becomes non-terminal symbols and the alphabet becomes terminal symbols. And transitions are made equivalent to production rules. As I said now, from the transitions only we have to frame the production rules, right? So we got V set of non-terminals, T set of terminals, V is nothing but states, T set of terminals is nothing but alphabets, right? Next, P, which are framed by using the transition symbols, transitions of finite automata. Next, VTPS, S is nothing but start symbol. Start symbol is nothing but initial state of the finite automata. Okay, now, what is the main thing which you have to know now? Framing those production rules which are equivalent to a transitions of finite automata. Now let's see how to frame the production rules from the transitions. Okay. Now, if a transition is like this, Q0 on symbol A is moving to Q1. Say this, Q0 on input symbol A, it is moving to Q1, right? Then this transition have an equivalent production rule, then the production rule can be made as like this. Q naught arrow mark Q1A means Q naught, from Q naught it is moving to Q1 on input symbol A. We have to write like this. Q naught arrow mark Q1A, which means that Q naught on input symbol A moving to Q1. Next, Q naught arrow mark A. Why I am writing means, why I am writing this Q naught on moving to A, only arrow mark A means because it is moving to Q1 and Q1 is the final state, right? So whenever a state on transition, upon transition it is moving to final state, then you have to add this production rule. You can simply add its production rule, which represents only the symbol like this. Okay, so Q naught arrow mark Q1A, one transition, one production rule, and another production rule is Q naught arrow mark A. Q naught arrow mark A. Only this is applicable when it is moving to the final state. Final state. Okay, only if it is moving to the final state, you have to frame production rule like this. Q naught arrow mark only that input symbol A. Okay, next. Same production rule can be written like this also. Q naught arrow mark A Q1. Q1A or A Q1, both are same. Okay, so you can frame transition. So you can frame equivalent production rules from the transitions in this way. Okay, now let us construct the regular grammar for some DFA. Because you already know how to construct NFA with epsilon for a regular expression and how to convert NFA with epsilon to DFA, right? So now I will discuss directly constructing regular grammar for the given DFA. Okay, let's see. Before getting into that, there is one more important concept, that is left linear and right linear grammar. See this. In this production rule, see, from these transitions, you are writing production rules in two ways. Q naught arrow mark Q1A, and one more, that is Q naught arrow mark A Q1. Both are same, I said, right? Right? For these two production rules, we have given two different names. That is left linear and right linear. Let's see them first. Now, right linear grammar. If the non-terminal symbol appears as the rightmost symbol in the each production rule of a regular grammar, then it is called right linear grammar. Now see this transition, Q naught comma A moving to Q1. Then right linear grammar. In right linear grammar, the production rule should be written as Q naught arrow mark A Q1. Okay, so this is right linear grammar. Okay, if you write it as Q naught arrow mark Q1A, then it is left linear grammar. See here, Q naught arrow mark A Q1. Q naught arrow mark A Q1. Q1 is written on right side. The non-terminal symbol appears as the rightmost symbol in the production rule. Non-terminal symbol means state. State right side. No. State is present on right side. So this grammar is called as right linear grammar. If the state is present on left side, then it is called as left linear grammar. Okay. So Q naught arrow mark Q1A is left linear. Q naught arrow mark A Q1 is right linear. If a non-terminal symbol appears as the rightmost, means it is right linear. If it appears to be the leftmost, means it is left linear grammar. Okay, so there are two types of regular grammars, right linear and left linear, depending upon the non-terminal placing in the production rules. If it is placed on right side, then it is right linear. If it is placed on left side, it is left linear. Okay, now let us construct a regular grammar for the given DFA. This is the DFA. Q naught, Q1 are two states. So Q naught is the initial state and Q naught, Q1 both are final states. Q naught is having self transition on A and it is having transition to Q1 on B, and Q1 is having self transition on A comma B. So this is our given DFA. Now we have to construct regular grammar. What is regular grammar? 4 tuples V, T, P, S. Right? What are V? What is V? This is regular grammar. Now what is P? V? Set of symbols called non-terminals which represent states. So what are the states present in our given DFA? Q0, Q1. So V is equals to Q0, Q1. Next, T. T means set of terminals. Set of symbols called terminals. Terminals, as I said, nothing but our alphabet, right? So it is equals to A comma B. Next, P. P is the production rules. Now by seeing the transitions, you have to make the production rules, right? Now see, Q0 is having self-transition on A. Self-transition on A. So Q0, arrow mark, Q0 A. One production rule. And Q0 is the final state. And it is moving to the final state. So Q0, arrow mark A. Okay, 2 production rules finished. On input symbol A. Okay, next Q0 on input symbol B, it is moving to Q1. Q0 on input symbol B moving to Q1. So Q0 arrow mark B Q1 or Q1B. Right linear or left linear. Any one thing you have to follow. Either right or either left. Here we are following left linear grammar. Okay. Now Q0 arrow mark Q1B. Q0 is moving to Q1 on input symbol B. Now Q1 is the final state, right? So whenever it is having transition to final state, you can simply write like this. Q0 arrow mark B. Okay, next. So all the production rules regarding Q0 completed. Next, coming to Q1. Q1 is having self transitions on A comma B, right? So Q1 arrow mark Q1A and Q1 arrow mark Q1B. Next, Q1 itself the final state. So Q1 arrow mark A comma Q1 arrow mark B. So these are the set of production rules which are framed by using the transitions made in the given DFA. Okay. Next, what is S? S is the start symbol which is nothing but the initial state which belongs to B. So what is the initial state here? Q0. So S equals to Q0. Okay. Thank you. I hope you all are clear with the regular grammar, constructing a regular grammar for a given regular expression. First, you have to construct its NFA with epsilon, then you have to convert it into DFA. From DFA, you can easily frame your regular grammar. Okay, thank you.